Season 7, Episode 17, To Change the Changeling. Sorry for the late start, and due to reasons, this will be the only thing we're doing for the stream, so thank you. So the first thing is, Starlight Trixie teleports several times around Equestria before getting close to the hive. I guess the long-range transport is a little more difficult, and there isn't exactly a Changeling Hive Express lane built yet.
Well, it depends, because we don't know how far Starlight actually was managing to teleport. She could just be really, really bad at directions. Because Trixie did mention that it was all over Equestria, which, of course, could be an exaggeration, because the great and powerful Trixie might stretch the truth a little bit. She doesn't lie. She just stretches the truth.
Although, personally, I think she might have been getting revenge on Trixie for making her go all over Equestria to find a table. Just saying. Okay.
But it could have been that, or she just has bad directions, or it could be like the TARDIS, and it's like never goes right where he wants. So there could be a lot of...
The two have decided to drop in and see Thorax. He seems to still be having trouble leading the swarm.
That's because he turned them all into hippies.
Thank you. I'm not the only one. Wait, so the changelings are hippies now?
Yep.
Yeah. In addition to all the domestic problems, he has a Maulwurf to contend with. Maulwurf is German for mole. I learn something every day. No, I did not big screen that. Trixie brags about being unscarable, but then is startled by Thorax brother, who captures them in a bag.
Trixie was not scared. She was startled. There's a very big difference. Trixie was just caught off guard.
I'm just saying, capturing somebody in a bag is really rude, okay? I mean, sheesh.
It is.
You just don't do that.
And we were not trespassers. We're friends of the king. Now,
Starlight seems to be a bit rusty as she fails to hit him with her beam. Trixie repeatedly fails to teleport herself out of the bag. Teleport!
Well, it also could be, even though they destroyed the crystal that took away powers, there still could be shards there that interact with magic. Doesn't destroy it, just interacts with it.
Yeah, that could be, because we had Starlight Glimmer, who, for lack of a better word, kicked Twilight's ass.
Flank, but yes. And it could just be that could also explain all the different teleportations. There could be something in the vicinity, those shards perhaps, that cause magical interactions.
Yep. Pharynx. The pharynx is part of the throat that is behind the mouth and nasal cavity, and above the esophagus and the larynx, or the tubes down to the stomach and the lungs. Science, everybody. So does everybody have a name that has something to do with the body?
Yeah, possibly. No, because Chrysalis didn't. Chrysalis was just a stage of metamorphosis.
Pharynx drags them before Thorax and complains that the old days were better, and is obviously not thrilled with what he perceives as lackadaisical attitude towards hive security.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. They all turned into hippies.
Oh my god. The talk with Ember helped because he has all but his elder brother converted.
Well, it is his big brother, and I mean, it's pretty hard to convince your elder of something, especially considering how close they were, and they could possibly both be named after parts of body parts because they are of the same brood.
That's why I'm glad that I'm the older sibling.
Me too.
New culture has emerged. Theater, swing dancing, weekly potluck lunch.
With bugs.
Yeah, they're hippies.
With bugs. Did you see all those little bug thingies they were eating?
Yep.
That was really unappetizing.
Hey, that's cannibalism. Bugs eating bugs.
True. Not really, because they are not of the same species. If a changeling were to eat another changeling, that would be cannibalism. But bugs eating other bugs is not cannibalism because that happens all the time in nature. One insect eats a larger insect. Hell, arachnids eat larger arachnids. And arachnids do oftentimes engage in cannibalism.
Yep.
So do mantids.
His brother was chief of a troll, and now he has less of a role. He's a bit of an amped-up Klingon with no one to fight.
His brother is Worf. Basically.
Worf. Starlight and Trixie offer to use their experience as outsiders to help change pharynx.
Well, it almost worked. They were just a little too honest, and they totally jumped the gun there. If they didn't jump the shark, they might have convinced him a little faster. But you see, Trixie, of all people, should have known to manipulate him instead of just saying, no. Although it was Starlight who refused to let him get word in edgewise. Refused to let Trixie get a word in edgewise. If she'd have let Trixie go about it, they probably would have had him convinced.
Yep. He has no for anything other than precise martial efficiency, including ripping out vines as a security risk.
Although, to be honest, I kind of at the beginning thought that he was the mole Worf. That he was changing into a mole Worf in order to try to convince them to take up arms and stop being pussies.
Yeah, I could see that. Let's see what it says. Okay. Trixie tried to share their reformation stories, but he just mocks them as losers and walks away.
That's because Starlight's like, yeah, and then we reformed and we're all cool now, and it's like, yeah, losers.
They have also come up with a feeling form, which is suspiciously close to your stereotypical safe space. Yeah, but with bugs. Apparently, Pharynx uses his craft time to make spears. I like his style. I like his style, too. Pharynx. It sounds like your lame feeling form is for talking about me behind my back. Group leader. The feeling form is talking about anything that's bothering you. Is there something you'd like to share, Pharynx? Pharynx. Actually, there is. The Changeling seems to be a fearsome swarm. Now, we sit around and talk about our feelings so much, you can't even stop a Malworf from eating all your pretty plants. I could have sent that thing packing before, but I guess now we'll just have to try to lead it away. So, I hope that it keeps us safe. Changeling 1. I don't feel safe with him around. Green Changeling. I feel safer if he were gone. Thorax. I can't do that. All Changelings. We want him banished. Arguing. This leads to Starlight thinking that Pharynx is unsalvageable and that he should be banished, but he overhears it having concealed himself in a rock. Well, not exactly in a rock, but
As a rock.
yeah. Thorax reveals that Thorax reveals that though he may be more aggressive, he saved Thorax from being bullied by others. He's a protector that no one values anymore. Starlight wants to capitalize on this by lowering the mole, which is a great idea, to the hive and solve two problems at once. Too bad he already left. You think Trixie would be having more unwanted flashbacks to the perils of her and the Ursa Minor.
Yeah, but you see, she really doesn't want to associate her girlfriend Starlight with those two idiots. It's like Starlight's too smart to be associated with those two idiots.
New assertive Thorax has some fire. Starlight Glimmer, I'm coming with you. Thorax, of course you are. This is your fault.
You did have some nice spunk.
I did love that part. Starlight gives a rousing speech to get the other changelings to go help, but they all are unmoved at first. The three of them meet Pharynx and join in the fight against the Mawar. The other changelings arrive to offer aid. Thanks to the Malwar's thick hide, they have to pull a tactic from a video game boss battle and have it attack itself by taunting and dodging. The beast is eventually chased back underground. Thorax, what were you doing out here? Pharynx, leaving. I'm done with all of you, Thorax. Oh, it's just why bother fighting them out then? You could have just left it alone. Pharynx, well, I couldn't just let it attack you, Thorax. But I thought you were done with us and didn't care. Pharynx, I never said that. The hive is the thing I care about most. Thorax, well, I certainly don't act like it. Pharynx, I'm sorry if I don't get excited about pretty flowers and filling circles. And it's Thorax, it's filling form. Pharynx, whatever, it doesn't matter. Even if I do care about the hive, I obviously don't have a place there anymore. Changeling 1. Actually do, because we've been wrong. The hive may be gentler, nicer place, Changeling 2, but that doesn't mean we won't have to defend ourselves clearly. Thorax, who better help us do that than the only changeling who never stopped protecting us? Changeling chattering. Pharynx, you want me to stay? Thorax, unless you want to leave the hive. Pharynx, why would I want to do that? I love the hive. And then Pharynx transforms into a less majestic but better-looking version of Thorax form. Thorax is justly still Starlight's awful plan, but Pharynx changed the subject with that. The whole swarm's converted, save for a certain buckling. Well, I mean, because somebody has to look like real changeling still. I mean, sheesh. Feelings are good to share and take into account, but when you focus on them too much with disregard effects and the rights of others, banishing Pharynx, you set off a dangerous path. It was an alright episode.
He literally writes down in his notes everything he says.
Yeah.
He scripts out his notes.
So there's one thing I want to make note of the show that I think I noticed is I may be wrong on this, but it seemed like to me that not all the changelings could change.
What do you mean?
So far, okay, I mean, Thorax could change when, he was still in his changeling form, the black form, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice, except for him, Thorax was like the only changeling that ever changed in the show. So what I'm thinking, only changelings with those weird side horn things, like Thorax, are able to change.
Possibly because it is, or did we actually see Pharynx change after he changed?
No, not yet. But I'm guessing he can change too, since he now has those horn things. Because I'm saying that because you would think at least one or two others of the changelings would have changed when they were all attacking the Malwarp. At least one or two.
What would they change into?
Whatever that weird spider thing was, he changed the Thorax changed into. I mean, Pharynx.
Pharynx changed into that because that is one of his chosen forms. If you've noticed, certain changelings weren't as expert as at changing as others, whereas Thorax could change into anything and would. The other changelings tended to only change into other ponies, and you don't often see them changing into objects or animals, other animals.
Well, I'm gonna keep to the notion that only like certain changelings can change it until there's an episode that proves that wrong. This is a good episode, though. I wonder when Chrysalis is coming back, though. That's the question. Like Pharynx, darker new changeling form. It's easier on the eyes.
Me too. I like his changeling form best.
Yeah, I like it. It proves that not everybody has to look like a bloody hippie.
That's because he isn't a bloody hippie. Everyone else is.
I shouldn't be talking. My hair is long.
I know. You look like a hippie, but they are hippies.
Yeah, Starlight's not the most smartest pony, is she? Yeah, let's bring the deadly creature.
Yeah, well, everyone makes mistakes.
I do kind of want to know what the name of that creature is that Pharynx transformed into.
Hold on. Hold on a second. It kind of looks like a Pokemon.
It kind of does.
It kind of looks like like a specific Pokemon. What the name of it now? Because I'm pretty sure my nephew has caught one. Because he plays Pokemon Go on my phone all the time.
It was called like Arachnid or something.
I think it's like Arachnos, but I think that was a different Pokemon.
Yeah, it looks like some shows are mixing in with each other.
Kinky.
No, it's like Starlight goes home to goes home to Twilight, and Twilight's like, Starlight, you might explain to me why the Changelings have declared war on us?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, they're hippies now, so they're not much of a threat, but still.
I may have tried to. I may have accidentally lured a vicious monster to their home.
Yeah, just may have.
May or may not have.
After the My Little Pony
Gyarados.
universe comes up with
Gyarados.
interesting creatures.
Gyarados is the name of the Pokemon.
Oh.
I knew it ended
Maybe
with an O.
maybe the changelings had Pokemon in the world and they played occasionally.
Maybe they did.
So it's just like, oh, this is cool. I'm going to change into this.
Maybe it's like in Pokemongo.
So here's a question.
They're
Let's say a changeling turned into like a giant ass spider and then started eating another changeling. Would that still be cannibalism?
Yes.
But
Because
he's a spider now.
no, physiologically, genetically, he is still a changeling. Animals that are capable of camouflaging themselves by taking on other forms still count as that species.
Cool.
So it would still be cannibalism.
Yeah, if I was at the filling form, I would probably make spears too. Or arrows.